Back at it again.
I've got two pieces cut out here for the seat tube that I made. I welded that in, and I welded the entire frame up. I didn't bother filming that because I want to get as much done as possible with the time I have. So I've cut these two tubes out, and they sit just like this, right in there. So they're going to hold the seat tube up, and I'm just going to tack the seat tube to that tube right there, and then put these in and position them. I really had to grind, but I got the frame pretty much complete for today. That's it right there. Oh, this thing looks good. Look at that. I'm gonna put the seat on. Yeah, that's insane. Had to tack the little two bottom pieces in and the top piece, and that took a little bit of time, and I really wanted to just get it precision, so I didn't bother filming it because I really wanted to concentrate. But that's what I did. There's a little bit of a gap I had to fill. Well, not a little bit, it's like half a centimeter, but whatever, I can fill that in. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. I will see you tomorrow, and we will see what we get up to. Okay, it's the next day. I welded up the entire frame. So the frame's pretty much done. I have to make the foot peg still. I'm gonna do that right now, but I just wanted to show you guys what I wanted to do for brakes. So I have a Comet mechanical brake caliper thing here. This little lever I made last year was off of my scooter that I built, and what I'm gonna do is the rotor will be here. I have a sprocket, and somewhere in my box of goodies here is a hub, and I'm gonna put that hub on the sprocket. But anyway, so that'll be in there. So I'm gonna use the sprocket as a brake rotor. So I'm gonna mount that just like that. I'll do that, and then this will stick out right about there. That'll stick down, and then this, I'll have a rod. So this piece here will be sitting there, and then I'll come all the way up here, up to my foot pegs, and it'll be mechanically routed. So I'm actually gonna have a foot actuated pedal instead of a hand one, because last year I found that the brakes just weren't effective enough. Plus it was like a 90-inch throttle cable on my scooter. So I'm gonna do mechanical brakes, but have it routed to a pedal on the foot instead of like a dirt bike, exactly like a dirt bike, mechanical linkage. So I'm gonna start on the foot pegs, and then I will get to the brakes. All right, so I've cut out the two pieces for the pegs on both sides. I welded them together and tacked it in, so that's what it's gonna look like. Yeah, it's just tacked in there right now, but I like where it is, so I'm gonna weld her up. So it's welded up, and I guess that means technically the frame is really, in a sense, done. I mean, I've welded everything. Now I just gotta do all the components, tighten everything. Obviously you can tell the wheel isn't even close to straight, nothing's on there, it's just all loose. But I moved the handlebars up a bit, so I think that looks better. Anyway, so frame's completely done. Yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna start on the brakes now that I've got the frame done. So this is my old brake rotor off of my scooter that I made last year. It's alright, but I cut it out with an oxyacetylene torch, and to be honest, it's just not perfectly true. And I would put it in the lathe and, like, you know, turn some material off of it, but it's already so thin, I can't really go any thinner. So I just went to Princess Auto and got this big sprocket, and this is the hub for it. Obviously you can tell that used to go on there. So I'm just gonna put this on there, and then put this hub in the lathe while it's attached to this, and then turn down all the teeth off, or even just leave it, we'll see. But I'm just gonna start on the brakes, and once I get this mounted to the axle, then I'll start showing you guys what I'm gonna do with the caliper. So here we go. Yeah, I got that done. It looks so good. And funnily enough, this stuff that's machined here, I don't know if you can tell, you can see in the reflection, I think it's quite cheap, probably made in China, nothing wrong with that, but I think when they machine these sprockets, they machine them really fast, and what that does is actually make these little grooves in here. No, normally this would be a bad thing if you're going for a really smooth surface, but obviously this is farm equipment and it's from Princess Auto. For you Americans, that's Harbor Freight. And yeah, it's not the smoothest surface, but that's actually good because this is quite smooth. Well, it doesn't really look like it, but it is. And it didn't actually break quite well, but I think since this is a bit coarse and there's actually like tiny lines throughout here, the mating surface between the brake pad and the rotor is actually going to happen really fast, and I think it'll feel quite snappy and the brakes will feel quite good. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this, and then I'll start working on the caliper mount on the frame. Got the rotor on, looks awesome. Alrighty, so off camera I made 2 brackets for this thing, just like I said. So this goes in here and fits just like that. So that's how the brake's gonna look. Yeah, I just got that welded in. Everything is perfect. So I'm gonna move on and I guess attempt to start on this huge linkage here. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish the brakes. I ran out of time. Next week, I'm gonna finish the brake linkage, tighten everything up, mount the seat most likely, finish tying up loose ends, and maybe do a first startup or test drive. I'm gonna try. I can't make any promises, but that's my goal by next Friday to possibly give it a test drive. And unfortunately, the weather where I live is quite bad all the time, so it'll most likely be in the wet or some sort of rain, but I don't care. I'll do a burnout or something. If you like what you've seen, you can follow my Instagram in the description for like sneak peeks and updates, that kind of thing. And yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.